2015, Fnatic lifted the ESL One Cologne trophy. In 2016, SK Gaming lifted the very same trophy, and here we stand in 2017, and one of them won't even make the arena. That is the reality of this next map of Counter-Strike, and hopefully providing some degree of a reality check, I have Chad Sponge Birchall and Janko YNK Paunovic. Well, boys, it's come down to this. This is the reality, the simulation that we live in. SK and Fnatic, and Janko.
Not you as well.
I mean, when you spend every hour,
I can't lose you.
Every waking hour with Anders in a green room, it's going to happen at some point. But let's kind of try and put this into perspective. In terms of form, I assume, Janko, you're going to give SK the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these two teams did meet at DreamHack Summer Finals. It was a pretty straightforward affair from SK. Yes, it was 2-1, but in their wins, they were pretty convincing. Yeah. And also looking at the map pool in general, you feel like SK has an advantage when it comes to that. And on top of it all, they always, when their backs are against the wall, they always come through and perform.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think what's interesting here is, Chad, I think was it your tweet, Janko, or somebody within the green room to send out a tweet saying, Fnatic keep having these unfortunate encounters and matchups. That was Jason, thank you. Because of something that happens elsewhere, completely out of their control, and they're getting these tough matchups. Do you know what he's referring to there, Chad, outside of Cologne?
They could have got G2 here as well, you know, so either way, it would have been rough for them. But it tends to happen where somebody else stumbles. It's Fnatic rebuilding and then they cop a really hard opponent, right? But this is just the way the cookie crumbles in this kind of format, and anything's possible. We're lucky we didn't get the phase versus SK.
Could have totally happened.
Yeah, that would have been heartbreaking. But a match like this, like you started off the segment with, is still very important because Fnatic, for me, is a team that's on the rise. And I've liked what I've seen from them so far today. They've come out with a bit of fire in their belly. And SK, it's not that they played bad today. They just played a G2 who was on form. Apex with a really good performance, one that we haven't seen from him in a while. So it's hard to tell who. Obviously the favorite is SK, but going into this, I've got mixed feelings about who can take it.
Well, I mean, you can see Fnatic on your screens. There's certainly no slouches to Counter-Strike, and I think what's interesting, and I haven't had a chance to really investigate with you personally, Chad, regarding the Fnatic boys, is when they always, and still do to this day, talk about we're going to play our style of Counter-Strike. Sure. Now, I can't help but feel like almost sometimes, you know, what's the word? Counter themselves? Hinder themselves? I mean,
shot themselves in the foot.
There's a word, fudge it. Fudge is my favorite food.
Off their nose to spite their face?
Well, no, basically the problem is that Fnatic say, oh yeah, we're going to play to our own style, but they also acknowledge that their own style isn't necessarily supposed to work.
Maybe what they mean within that is what they build for themselves, as opposed to playing to adapt to the opponent all the time, sure. Right? Which is what we can credit SK for. They're able to adapt on the fly. They've got really good theory. And the theory kind of makes up for lack of chemistry. Obviously, they have chemistry because they're like a family, but you look over to Fnatic, and the only reason that they were good was because of the chemistry that they were able to build, which is natural because these guys have been playing together for such a long period of time now. You've got the combo of JW and Flusher who have been playing together since the beginning, since the very first major win. And then you have the other three, Dennis, Crimson, Olaf, who were in, I believe it was LGB back in the day. And now, you know, this unit's come together and they react very well off each other.
Yeah. And I mean, where do their strengths lie now, Janko? Is it seriously, are we still in the story we were telling 2 years ago, 3 years ago, which is just Olaf's going to go off, JW's going to go off, and Crims is going to be the rock of the team? We haven't changed.
I mean, unfortunately, still when you look at Fnatic, the way they're going to beat a top team, another top team, is going to be due to individual performance and more often than not a very strong CT side. Yeah. Because that's where their strengths lie, that communication, team play, aggression, when they start off on the right foot. Unfortunately, it seems like on the T side, they don't really have the depth if their initial plan doesn't work, or those contact plays or duels that they take. They aren't really good at having elaborate strategies or a more methodical play style to fall back onto.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting here is that we can start doing the vetoes earlier in this discussion, because I feel like that's going to influence the decision.
Veto Inferno, veto Mirage if you're SK, and play whatever else you want. And veto Nuke, because you don't play it, you can play any of the other maps. Just please veto Mirage and Inferno.
Well, I mean, of course, the explanation for that is simply that Fnatic have vocalized they don't know their map pool, so take whatever they've got close to win on.
Their two strongest maps are Mirage and Inferno. The two maps that they won in this tournament, both have been on Mirage and have been very, very dominant. Yeah. Inferno, again, is the map they like the most. And sure, SK beat them on both maps in DreamHack Open Finals, and very convincing. I think it was 16-8 both times, but I don't think they should risk it. Similar to what Mousesports allowed to happen versus Na'Vi, right? They had good results, allowed Mirage through, and they got crushed on it.
Are you getting nervous yet, Janko? Are you getting nervous?
Well, they definitely can't ban both of them, and Fnatic won't ban it either, so it's going to be one of the two.
The two maps you mentioned, the two maps.
I mean, the problem they have here, right? The problem the big problem here is Overpass and Nuke. Overpass in a sense because they lost to Fnatic and they don't really want to play it, and it's a shaky map for them. And Nuke is a map that both teams don't play. And Fnatic again wins in the game of chicken. I also, okay, in this situation, if you're gonna veto it, you kind of have to veto it in the first phase alongside Overpass. You can't leave it for the very end. Maybe you could veto Overpass in Inferno straight away and then see if Fnatic vetoes Nuke or they let it through. But they would have let it through regardless, I believe.
What do you make of this, Chad? The same map for Fnatic, one of which they've already found their victories on.
Yeah, I think it's very strong for them. I think they've won this veto, right? But the problem I can see is if they are on the T side and they have they looked a bit rigid on their T sides as opposed to their CT side, which I think is their strength. So if SK are allowed to start on the CT side and have that aggression, be able to pick them off while they're trying to make their way out mid, go underpass, you know, Furz, JW made a tweet earlier saying Furz is an extremely annoying player to play against, which is ironic, right? Absolutely. Because both of them, they have that tendency to be very annoying at times. So I think the win condition for Fnatic here is starting on that CT side and getting off to a rolling start.
Okay, so starting defensive. While you do continue your point, let's bring up those odds to see if they correlate.
You definitely want to try and get Fnatic out of their comfort zone. They did have 2 convincing wins. On the other side of things, it has been against Heroic and Space Soldiers, so not really, you know, at the top of the food chain. Yeah. Obviously, playing against SK, they're not going to have as easy of a task, but that team is all about confidence, right? And after having strong performances on the map in this tournament, I think they're going to put up a good fight against SK.
I certainly hope so, because this could be some fantastic Counter-Strike. Just think about who you have in that server right now. You're going to have Fallen doing what Fallen does best. If JW is on form, we know what he does on Mirage, one of the masters of that mid window as of late. All of that's going to culminate in one of these legendary CSGO names going home, tail between their legs. Yanko already told me they're not going home. Watching from the stands is what they will be doing, as the others will be participating in that wild Lanxess Arena. Well, the voices of this game are certainly most definitely excited as SK Fnatic clash for just one spot. Who else but Anders and Semler?
Well, hello, Alex. Yes, it will be very interesting. I think this game is I mean, kind of a crazy one, and I mean, either way, the result is going to be pretty tragic. I think a lot of people would have wanted either one of those teams to make it to the arena. It'll just be one of them. It's a tough break, but at the same time, if Fnatic go out here, this might spark the second coming of the revolution in Sweden, as far as the roster shuffle is concerned. So it could get really interesting after this if there is, you know, another situation where Fnatic are not able to pull through. And I kind of find it hard to believe that there's a world in which SK don't make top 8 at least at Cologne. You would certainly think so, but then again, it's hard to know exactly where their focus lies, right? They've obviously been preparing a lot for all of this. They've been playing a lot of tournaments, so I guess we're about to find out. They have a best of 1 to try and figure out how to make their way through. That's just, again, going to leave very little room for error. Yeah, just about to do the knife round, and then we should get into the game in just a couple of seconds here. But if you have any friends that are not already watching, then now is a good time to get them involved here. SK and Fnatic, a blazing matchup that we're about to witness here, and it should be very exciting. I see the SK team having just won the knife round, so they're going to be starting on the CT side. Fnatic on the terrorist side. So once again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here. ESL One Cologne 2017. It is the last 3 games of the day, last 3 games of the group stage before we head into the Lanxess Arena, and then it's just going to be pure fire from there on out. So you definitely want to see how this goes out. You definitely want to see how it tunes out. You can see by the odds, actually, while they were on the desk there, that you know, it was a slight favor for SK. I think it's like, you know, 2-to-1 odds or something in favor of. Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot more people are going to be a bit more worried about SK picking this one up. I mean, I just love the fact that JW, he's so damn good at this game. He has to make the game harder for himself, Anders. How can you play with long sleeves on a mouse pad? You know? Yeah. You get a QCK Plus, that sleeve is just going to be dragging the whole day through. Yeah, it's true, actually. I understand why he has to play with mouse acceleration now, because he just can't get his arm over there fast enough. Do you think that has to almost certainly be like a cold hand, cold wrist kind of thing? You know, he wants to keep the heat up a little bit. He's like naturally hot already, right? It's very true indeed. Now we are going to head into the game. Fnatic starting on the T side, and we have Dennis with the Tech9 and Armor build. A couple of smokes, so this is suggesting it's just going to be a very fast execute for Fnatic. Not much waiting around, and as a result, it's great that First already checking out top mid on the SK side. Now, the hit is going to be coming in, but SK have a little bit of advanced warning here. The grenades raining in, falling here. The headshot already taking down Olofmeister. It's a great start. Perfect from Fallen.
well, less perfect there. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to actually hold his ground and pick up another kill, but he did his job. The whole point of this was that CT would be open, and so Fallen was able to actually capitalize on that and pick up a kill. Fur already with the flank towards Pit as well, putting the pressure on Fnatic, who have taken a tremendous amount of damage. Somehow Fur lives with 1 HP. And we can say that as long as we want because there's no commentary being piped into these players' rooms.
Yes, that was a burst fire shot from JW as well. Sorry, from Flusher. It will be JW to get the kill on Phelps. Instead, he tails down right afterwards to coldzera, who's looking for just a bit more attempted defuse there. Flusher gonna say hell no, and that's a triple kill overall. He survives on just 8 HP. Fnatic off to a very good start here, and SK. I mean, with that kind of a flank coming in. You would have thought they could have done a little bit more. Just wasn't possible. Fur was actually really quick on the flank.
Just a tough break for Fallen. I think he messed up his flash is what happened there. I was watching on the mini map, or on the major map, the big map, whatever. But saw that he got flashed. I think that's what kind of pinned him in the corner. He wasn't able to get out of there and actually stay alive. And more importantly, maintain that man advantage for the retake.
Oh.
And well, now he's just going to get roasted. He tries to push his luck, stay in the connector, and he gets punished for it.
Yeah, just the slowdown from the bullet that hit him was enough that he couldn't make it out of the fire.
No, you can't wallbang there, sadly.
Not with the AK. AWP though. It's all good. Some damage raining in towards that mid window. Fur trying his best, but JW's holding so close that this round is pretty much over. It's not bad. I mean, as soon as you win the mid fight, if you're SK here, or sorry, if you're Fnatic, you're gonna be just fine. Like, there's not much of a threat after that. Phelps looking to see if he can pick up at least 1 kill in the round.
Did he just stop wallbanging?
It's not even gonna happen.
Like, if he just hit him clean, there would have been a dead guy there in front of jungle. Instead, well, he's gonna actually have to go for the hard eco here in this round, and as well as his teammates. Everybody on SK gonna have to manage that money going into the 4th round bye, and we'll see just how good of one it will be because, well, Taco's kind of got a little bit of money going for himself, and Fallen should be close enough to pick up that AWP, but it's not going to be a pretty bye here for SK. What was that? That is so sick, Flusha. Did you see that? He strafe throws the smoke from T-spawn into mid-window. Like, Flusha is also looking, you know, how to make the game a little bit more difficult for himself.
Always a risk with that window smoke if it doesn't really pay out, but this time they're doing a decent enough job. Fallen has got a kill, and I like the massive push to middle here for SK Gaming. Fnatic should be able to stabilize this situation, especially as more backup is being called for here. coldzera now alone. They know exactly where he is. Going to get shut down from JW, I think was coming in from a bomb site. So 3-0 in favor of the Swedish side as we move into the 4th round here. Just fine. I mean, SK did what they could now. They have money to buy. AWP on Fallen, and that's pretty much it. Not that much money on Fur.
No, they are pretty... This is a threadbare buy. It isn't too pretty. Look at that. Just 3 smokes, a couple of flashes, and Flusha going for the smoke again. That is so sick. I love it. Goes straight into the mid window as well. Perfect. The Molotov standard into connector to keep Fallen. This is just why it's so frustrating to op on CT side. Mirage now, when you try and get into mid, you're just dodging nades and mollies left and right. It's so difficult to actually get that peak going consistently. So Fallen taking just a little bit of damage, but there's still going to be a mid presence here for SK Gaming, hoping to perhaps exactly catch somebody out.
But the crossfire setup. Actually, coldzera is on catwalk waiting, so maybe him and Taco could figure something out. Cold with a good headshot to take down JW, and Olofmeister will fall as well. SK strong in the 4th round right off the bat, losing absolutely nobody. And that's how you want this round to play out. They really did not have a lot of equipment, and Fnatic, with that kind of a push, if you've got that crossfire setup, yeah, there's the fade you were talking about.
That is sexy.
That just seems so risky to me.
I know, right? That is just sweet sex right there. All right, well, more importantly, dude, you're right. When they don't have the utility, it's all going to come down to teamwork and communication and trust. And that's what you had there, that B defense. The aggression into underpass works perfectly. The flash to set it up, and Fur will find 1 kill already. Crims not able to get out of harm's way.
Does take a grenade to the back for falling a bit low. Now, the problem with this kind of push is, can you get out again? And that's not always easy. There is a smoke there to try and help him, and looks like Fur not quite confident he can make the cross back, and Gotta be very careful. It's not really worth it if you just fall back and go down. Instead, he lands a headshot on one, continues to spray, and Fur with the second headshot, triple over all of the round. And Flusher and Olofmeister are left. What a way to lose a round if you're Fnatic here. You didn't even get a chance to do anything. Like, whatever they had in mind never even came close to being able to execute it.
It was very similar to the same setup to what we saw in the anti-eco, right? You know, you get that presence at mid, you kind of hold up there, you hope that SK are going to push. In the anti-eco, SK pushed with the pistols. Here, Fur basically made the impossible happen, which was just win 3 consecutive duels, no problem at all. So you got to give it to him. Fur is a beast. And he is. He's one of the anchors for SK Gaming. Between him and Cold, they just don't seem to have off days.
All Fnatic can hope for right now is to do damage in the last 30 seconds here. They just had a flawless round, SK. They can't be allowed to have back-to-back flawless rounds. And 1 kill is not enough. They need more than that. Preferably, they need another couple of kills in this round, Fnatic, just to make life a little bit tricky. 15 seconds on the clock. They are starting to move Olofmeister in towards the ladder room, but Phelps, yeah, it's just no time at all. Not even for the kills, it seems. Are they just going to try and save it? Olofmeister not firing the rifle. Doesn't want to risk anything. Could he maybe go for the last second kill? He's not even going to do it. He's so sure he wants to save it. That's a huge problem now for Fnatic. That's so much money in SK's pockets, and the Swedes, I guess they could buy 2 AKs in this round of Tech-9s and the rest of it they really want it. They're going to go Tech-9s all across the board instead, it seems.
Yeah, I do like this. Just balance out the economy here. Go for the half buy. You have Olofmeister on the AWP. Maybe he can make something happen for you here. I mean, he does get the good pit spawn here, but he's not going to catch anybody trying to make their way over to connector early. Instead, it's the perfect HE to top mid. Take down JW39, follow-up HEs, and then Phelps and Fur getting a taste of their own medicine. Phelps down to 10 HP, barely survives that. That's perfect for Fnatic, who actually have pistols here.
Yeah, that kind of damage really helps out. I'm still looking for more of a plan from the Fnatic team. Phelps has got the AWP, and why not? He's kind of difficult to grenade here. At least you have to peek him at some point, and Olofmeister gets the perfect peek in. Cold Zero. A lot of trouble in the back line. You can see Crims is already watching it. They know they haven't checked their spot yet. Fur goes down next, and now what can Cold do? Comes out with a spray, and it completely misses every single bullet. Dodging Olofmeister there, and Fallen at least does a bit. Taco to help out as well, but it's still a 2-on-3, and the bomb is down now. Very difficult retake.
That was uncharacteristic of Cold, for sure. Now anti-plants, they have superior gear. They are out of utility, though. A single flash on Taco to make their lives easier, and they really just don't have the time to be swapping out. Time to take the fights. They spot out Crims. That's Fallen, backing off. That sets it up for Taco to spray down Dennis, and now they know exactly where Crims is playing from. It's a matter of rushing them together as a duo. Crims trying to play the angles, and he will hit the headshot on Fallen, but Taco there to trade the kill immediately. The fuse will come through for SK Gaming, and he should have time, exactly, while he doesn't even need to run back to CT spawn. Picks the op right off of Olofmeister. So perfect as far as SK are concerned here. But that is painful. That is a very solid anti-eco, or like half buy basically for Fnatic.
It's very interesting. I mean, the way that was all set up for the Fnatic team, they should have been in a position to win that no problem. Like they had the opening frags that they needed. Fallen or Fur, I think, going down as the first 2, so basically a 5-on-3, and they get the bomb plant without really any trouble. So that's a bit of a problem, potentially. I think we had a timeout being called by Fnatic this time, so just getting a chance to talk it over. It's still just 3-3, so very early on, but everything is on the line here. Whoever loses this match is not going to make it into the arena. It's one of the greatest tournaments that we have in Counter-Strike, so it has to work out. One of the biggest events that we've ever seen. So basically, not making it here is it's no good at all. You have to, especially if you're SK, especially if you're Fnatic. They're big brands, they're big teams. They've got to find a way to make it through. But
this is SK's turf, no less.
Yes,
the office is here. This is SK headquarters, Cologne. Like, imagine they don't manage to make the stage here. That would be a disaster.
Absolutely would be shocking. And again, Fur trying with the aggressive push into underpass. He gets snuffed by Olofmeister, so this time they're on to him. And they should be. They should know that Fur loves doing this. I mean, just the first 30 seconds of every round should probably be just allocated to wondering where's Fur going to push.
And sadly, that really has kind of put SK Gaming in a bit of an awkward spot. They have changed it up somewhat. Cold holding in ladder room. Crims with the Molotov towards window to try and create some space, and it looks like Fnatic are finally going to start pushing to top mid, get some control here. They have the man in underpass as well. That's Olafmeister. And there he goes. Olafmeister, he just looks so smooth right now with his movement. The peek on Phelps with the off earlier. That just little strafe right there onto connector. Olaf is dialed in here, Anders.
Always a bad sign if you're playing against him. I do like the little wait and then the eventual pre-fire coming in there. It was Phelps hitting the shot on Crims. Very low on health. If it had been an AK, then it would have been instantly bye-bye. Now they're making their way up deep into connector. This is a big problem if you're playing on the CT side. You're going to have almost no warning. Smokers out. That's really what they're going to get. Phelps turning around for the flashes that are coming through. But he's got no chance at all. Goes down immediately. Fallen with 1 AWP kill. But can he get more? The bomb is being planted. This is a smart move from Fnatic. They don't fight him. They just try and grenade him out. And eventually Flusher will get the kill on 1. Now it's coldzera and Taco left 2-on-4 here. And a lot is riding on this round. If you're SK Gaming, they don't have the money to rebuy except on 2 players. And that just might not be enough. coldzera looking for the opening, but they double peek him, and he's just got too many angles. Taco looking for the shot and actually getting it as well, taking Flusher very low on health, but he's going to have to try and back off here with the AWP.
Well, they know where he is now. They've got him pinned, and they're definitely not going to let him survive. Fnatic will have the money to rebuy, and Taco going to take JW with him. He doesn't realize that he's got 2 players that are extremely low, still there with the AWP, and eventually he will get caught. I think one of them actually went up with the bomb there.
Yes,
on Fnatic's
Flusher did.
He was too low on HP.
So at least they made it expensive. Only 2 of the Fnatic members survived the round. All these little details absolutely matter. And SK Gaming buy, regardless of what we just saw. That's very interesting to me. I thought SK, I would have said they should be way more confident in the T side and just say, listen, it's fine. We can be a little bit behind early on here. They have the AWP, but it's the C-Set 75, the UMP, and more than anything, it's the lack of grenades here that can make life tricky.
You're definitely going to wait if you're Fnatic at that point. Oh, I like it. Thorough play here from Crims. A few shots to the top of the railing there just in case somebody's trying to use that smoke as cover. And well, we have the setup once again. I'm loving the fact that Fnatic are just so mid-focused right now. They keep succeeding and picking it up, and that makes life so much more difficult for SK Gaming when it comes to defending a bomb site. We saw it in the last round. It was perfect flush up from Palace, and then the rest just cascading in from connector. There wasn't really a whole lot that Phelps and Fallen could do in that sort of situation. And so if SK Gaming can't find a solution for dealing with the mid-pressure from Fnatic, I think we're just going to see Fnatic start to run away with this first half.
Well, right now, Fnatic have lingered around in mid for a bit. They've got Olafmeister checking underpass, and they've decided, listen, we're not going to try and sort of do for the same approach this time. We want to fall back instead. They don't really know what we're doing. Now, I like all of this, but what I'm really concerned about is, do they have a smoke for coldzera this time? Flusher goes down, but last time, coldzera and Taco were allowed to set up a really good crossfire. They need something to grenade coldzera out of this. Then they can deal with Taco alone. He spots them already. Flashbang trying to fall back, but he's getting shot in the back, and you can tell Taco a little bit confused. He's going to be going down, and Cold is here trying to take the fight. He does a lot of damage, but not enough for a double kill. So the bomb will be going down, and a double rotation through T-spawn. That's a big risk for SK.
They were so close pushed up. It's very quick towards B apartments, but JW's got a great spot to hold. So long as his teammates can keep the pressure on Phelps and stop him from getting out in the kitchen for free, JW might just be able to blindside Fallen and Fur completely here. But he goes for the peek, the information play, gets caught. Molotov gonna force him out. That one Molotov, that's the only nade that SK had, and it's used perfectly. Fallen with 2 kills and a 3rd as well. Stepping up when his team needs him. Fallen doing a lot of work here in this retake. Just like, please, let me defuse. Maximum points on the scoreboard.
That's really silly for Fnatic in sort of every respect. They obviously just weren't prepared for that, but it also looked like JW, as the Molotov went down, they also managed to tag him with a gun, and that meant he just, again, he couldn't really run out. So, ties up the scoreline at 4-4. And SK Gaming, I was questioning their buy in that round, but it certainly pays off. So, it's a great job here. It's very quick as well.
Yep, risky. You got to take some risks. It looks like if you're SK, because that resets Fnatic. That was a key round because Fnatic, had they won, then they can keep on rolling. They can get SK Gaming into that eco situation where on CT side Mirage, you're not happy if you're light on the nades. It's not every round that Fallen will be able to show up with an AWP and be the hero, save the day. It is going to be another half buy coming in from them. Some Kevlar, some Tech 9s.
One smoke.
Yeah, one smoke, and it's just going to be the straight A run. YOLO.
Flashbang right in Phelps' eyes, Fur's eyes, and gonna try and fall back immediately. Phelps will pick up some great headshots, closing out the round with a quad kill mid-air on Crims. That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Dude.
No bomb plan at all for the Fnatic team. There is a moment when you see the first grenades coming in there and you're on the SK side where you individually, you sort of have to make up your mind. Am I fighting to stop the bomb from going down or fighting to keep the rifles and say, listen, if they get the bomb plan down, it's not a problem. But you can tell when you're hitting shots like these, it's not even an issue, right?
It's so clean and controlled. It's so easy to see pros just overspray or get a bit too enthusiastic. That was just clinical there. Surgical from Fur. Or Phelps, rather. What a beast. Everybody's a beast, though. I gotta stop using that word. I'm using it a bit too much. Beast this, beast that. But it's so satisfying to say, you know?
Maybe you just have a soft spot for that, Zamla. There are websites for it if you're interested.
I always just think whenever commentators start repeating words, right, I just think back to the Calvin and Hobbes comic where Hobbes is just fascinated with the word smock. He just sits there, he's like, smock, smock, smock. It's true, smock is a great word.
I like the word smug. You know, like Moses, for instance. He's very smug these days.
But you like the word smug because it rhymes with pug, and that's your favorite dog.
Yes, I have one of them at home. They're fantastically stupid, but also really cute. Again, similar setup here. Cold Zero and Taco are just not changing this very much, and also partly because Fnatic aren't countering it. There's a smoke you can land that means Cold Zero either has to fall back and then he can't help Taco, or he has to push through the smoke and he risks running right into a flashbang. They're not really utilizing that very much on the Fnatic side. Some grenades coming in. Actually, there are the smokes we were talking about, so that's really good. Great job forcing them back. Taco and Cold Zero down and out. All praise Fnatic. That was the perfect read. And you remember, they don't have the mini-map like we do. It's much easier for us to point out what the problems are. That's a very, very solid read coming out of the Swedish side. You have to just admire that. They realized that was the same setup round for round. They decided, listen, no more Cold Zero in this one. And Taco, he can't do much. And then because as the push is coming in, they're trying to relocate themselves. That's the worst possible thing you could do. But Phelps coming back into it with a strong headshot. Not enough, though. JW, long range with the C-75. It's still a 2-on-3.
What is this going on? What is going on here? Stop. Like, why is Fur even in this position right now? Or Phelps going for that push when there's so little time left on the defuse, left on the bomb. It's wasteful.
Man, I don't know if we're going to be allowed to do the telestrator thing, but if we do, that should be around that could be looked at. Like and they actually smoke both sides of the pillar on catwalk, so it's really, really tricky because it's not obviously he can move out of the way, but then you're running along the bomb side, like on top of the bomb site as grenades are coming in and flashbangs, and they just got trucked. That was very well done. 5-5 ties up the scoreline. This is looking like just a very interesting game all of a sudden because they seem to be trading a lot of rounds here. Nobody wants to give in. Everyone's fighting for it, and this is my favorite version of Fallen. Close combat with the AWP. He's one of the best in the world at doing it, and he's going to be picking off Dennis, fighting to keep his team in this and making sure that they can get to that Lanxess Arena. That's what it's about right now. You have to assume the focus is 100% for everybody on this server.
How's this set up? Okay, smoke in the mid. Are they going to start rotating back over towards that B site? Fnatic don't want to have anything to do with it, it looks like, when Fallen's that aggressive over on A. The one thing that they have working for them here, Fnatic, and exactly, make some noise, keep forcing the utility out of SK Gaming, because SK are super light on nades right now. There's the last incendiary just thrown in from Fur. They only have 3 flashes, and there's still a minute left on this clock, Anders. And so this gives plenty of opportunities here for Fnatic to find a kill, bring it back to a 4-on-4, because look at their nade advantage. It's huge. They can do whatever they want right now, the Swedes.
See if they can start off at least by finding an opening, and it's going to be right then and there for not wanting to fall back into the Molotov, just deciding to go and peek the window, but Fallen with the refrag. It's just admirable, isn't it?
He's so fast.
Think about the risk involved in that kind of a shot. If you miss it, then they're going to run you down with the AK-47. But it seems like that's not really... Fallen just says, I'm just not going to allow for that. They're never going to get the chance. Now, JW is very close to the site here. And
yeah, they know it.
They definitely know it. trading kills once again as Crims goes down, but Fallen is at least out of the round, and Phelps in a lot of trouble. He tries, he actually preemptively goes for that aim. There's only 6 seconds left. The bomb is being planted, and Olofmeister not even being allowed to continue. Taco, perfect position, and not enough time for Fnatic. If they had, 45 seconds instead of 5 seconds, that could have been a very interesting 2v2.
And what's crazy is just SK's ability to just win these duels right now. That's the second time. I mean, we saw it from Sponge. He was pointing it out earlier, how SK right now are able to run it all the way down to the end of the round, have no utility left, and yet still win versus Fnatic. They're just winning. They're winning through just straight up aim and communication at this point, not wasting any seconds time. But wow, nice shots onto Crims. That's a tremendous amount of damage dealt to him, and Olofmeister took a bit of the bullet as well. But it's still a 5-on-5 situation, and once again, Fnatic getting that mid control, although Fur through the smoke is going to pick up a kill.
It's a nice shot from JW. That was off from the A apartments here. Lands that long range. That actually is almost invaluable to the Fnatic team, because they were really getting locked into middle there. That could have been bad. Grenade comes out, long range, lands right in the face of Phelps. You hate to see it. And now it's a 4-on-4, roughly equal situation at the moment. Plenty of time for Fnatic. Again, not that many grenades left actually on either team this time. I like the fact that Dennis just waiting here. The longer he waits, the more it will fade out of SK's memory that there was a bit of a battle going on. And who knows, maybe they forget. Or maybe he could just listen for footsteps. Yeah,
he just has the information right now on jungle, on window room. If anybody goes running off, rotating, he can transmit that information to his teammates. It's so valuable that he stays here. And you're right, if the rotation comes through, if the bomb gets planted on B or A, maybe he catches somebody unawares. And so right now, Fnatic, 38 seconds left in this round to make their play. We're pretty much even here in terms of nades and in terms of HP. It's Olofmeister with the Molotov, and we'll see where it goes, but JW about to get shot in the side of the head here, unless he checks this corner.
Oh, if someone flashed in for him, that would be the best. Olofmeister actually has one, so one single flashbang for the victory. Instead, he's just going to walk right in and stab him with the AK-47. It's kind of brutal, but if it works, I guess we're okay with it. It's still a 3-on-3, but the bomb has gone down now with just 13 seconds left. Fallen not really able to find an angle yet.
They have 3 kits though, Anders, and they still have a smoke on Cold as well. So that could make that diffuse actually happen, although it doesn't literally look like they're too excited about it. Cold will eventually find the kill. So hard to actually get the retake going with 2 AWPs. He's going to swap out for the AK immediately, but they're starting to run a little bit out of time here, and the smoke gets used on Palace instead. Olofmeister, that was such a key position, and JW trying to be the hero, but again, Fallen. 3 kills for him, 2 of them in the retake, and the man is just a monster. Another round picked up here for SK Gaming. They really are starting to get that lockdown going on the CT side.
I'm not sure if they appreciate the irony right now, Fnatic, but they should, because this kind of a retake is actually one that Fnatic made very popular. They did it on this map, and they did it on Overpass as well, where they wait so long before they actually start the retake. Like, you think Cold Zero just waiting by the window there, you think, come on, man, like, you're just wasting time. What if no one ever shows up? Then you've just wasted, 8 seconds, and then you could lose the round. But he keeps the position, and eventually they get the kill and they win the round. Like, it's very, very sort of Fnatic-esque, and it's something that they used to be very good at doing themselves. So
it's what they said themselves, right? You just wait 20 seconds on that bomb, and then you make your play. You let them sweat a little bit, right? You let the nerves start to get a bit tense. And while we're seeing how it works out, 7-5 SK in the lead. JW hesitating a little bit, not really wanting to go for the peak, and that's going to cost him. They lost Dennis, so they're down a man already here, Fnatic, in this eco round. And Cold Zero from short will find the pick on JW. Hardly taking any damage at all. Although, as I say that, Phelps decides to stand in a Molotov.
Oh, Crims, none of the bullets connecting it towards the end. One more would have taken Taco out at least. This is only the 13th round, but SK really don't have that much money, so if they could have snuck in like 2 or 3 kills in this round, it would have made an impact later on in terms of the grenades that they would have been able to buy on the CT side. Instead, it is another flawless round coming in, helping the Brazilian economy and moving us into the 14th round as well.
Where is the timeout, though, from Fnatic? But, now would be the time.
Yeah, I guess they feel like they don't need it. I mean, it's 8-5, so it's sort of an even game, but
now would be the time. You get up to 6 or 7 rounds on T side, you're sitting pretty for the second half.
Yeah.
And Fnatic, I mean, historically they've been good with the timeouts, so I'm a bit surprised to see them not going for it right now.
Let's see, push into top mid. Fur will pick up a really big frag then. But Olofmeister's there with the return, and there was nobody there to really help out. You could see Phelps was behind the smoking window. He couldn't really do anything. Did have a Molotov that maybe could have chucked in there, but it's unclear whether or not that would have made a big difference. I like this position from, who's that over by the ramp? Flusher, who's pushed up quite far. Always good if you can get yourself sort of into a really forward position without having used any utility, because then you can just walk out as the rest of your team is making noise somewhere else. And maybe that will be worth it. Bit of a peek there, but Phelps is going to win that fight. No problem.
Good, Phelps. He's so good. There's the flash, and Flusha not rewarded at all for his patience. He gets overwhelmed immediately by Taco. 2-man advantage now for SK Gaming. And you've got Cold already up on the ticket booth, looking to see if he can't find anybody in mid. 50 seconds left, and Olafmeister just barely spots Cold, but at least that's some information here gained for SK Gaming. They know that there is one player at least in the mid area. They have no idea, however, that JW has made his way into window.
Oh, Phelps, is he going to show himself? Gun barrel not quite yet. Phelps is low, but still alive, and that sort of gives up the game here for JW. Will take him down, but there's only 25 seconds, and it's still a 2-on-3. So how did they get in and get the bomb down? Long-range spray to try and catch Cold Zero. He nearly does it. If JW gets that kill, then Taco's alone on the bomb site and sandwiched instead. Now they're just running all over the place towards the B bomb site. And Fallen, he almost rotated out, but he's back with a vengeance, looking for the shot with the AWP. Actually going to miss it for the moment. 4 seconds left for the bomb plant. And Fnatic will be successful. This would be a big win, the 2 versus 3.
Oh, massive. Just massive. JW kind of caught in the smoke there. That's going to change up the angle for him. But still a man advantage here for SK Gaming. And again, waiting to see if Fnatic are going to get nervous and start going for a push somewhere. Olafmeister with the shot towards short. Manages to spot one player. Well, now there's the collapse. Fallen finds the angle. JW will hit the headshot on Taco, but it's not enough. Cold, once again, both oppers just finding their picks, and it's a team ace for SK Gaming. Everybody picking up a frag here. But Fallen, once again, man, when his team needs him, he's 15-0-6 right now. He's just hitting shots, and in key situations as well. All of these retakes, Fallen, he's just going to work.
It's a really, really good job on the Brazilian side, and Fallen's got 15 kills and just 6 deaths overall. Worth pointing out, neither Dennis nor Flusher nor Crims could have bought an AK in this round, if not for the fact that they got the bomb plant down. They had just enough money with that bonus. That should tell you something about how important it was. They even got the bomb down. Like, that's really hard to do in that kind of situation. I actually thought they were just going to get completely destroyed in the middle, and that would have been it. Fur, again, aggressive push. I hope you guys are keeping a count at home. He's so good at this. That's why everyone hates playing against him. Dennis flashed, trying to see if he could take him down. The grenades are raining in. Fur gets another headshot. Phelps helping out. And now it's all trouble. Crimson Olive with a combined 11 health, and I don't think you can win this.
No, it's looking just a little grim. But the one thing that they do have is a lot of time. Not really the nades, but they have a lot of time to kind of rotate around and
Maybe
see.
They could apply some band-aids, some first aid, and get the health up.
It doesn't work that way in this game, man. Yeah, exactly. You know, if it calms down, the red screen goes away and you start regenning. No. I mean, Valve devs seem to be pretty interested in trying to get us close to COD, but we aren't just there yet.
Not quite. 9-5. What I really miss is the Doom thing from Doom 3. So from Wolfenstein 3D, where like your character gets like more bloody and. Like,
yeah.
I guess that wasn't Doom as well, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, definitely, man.
Well, Fallen hiding in the corner with a pretty good angle. Hard to stop him here, especially because they don't have a flashbang. So not sure what they can do. Crims will go down immediately. A refrag from Olafmeister. It's not going to make that big of a difference. Ultimately, it will be 10-5 in favor of SK Gaming. So that's a strong first half. And I think, considering the fact that they lost some of the really early rounds, like they lost the first 3 rounds, obviously losing the pistol.
Yep.
Then Fnatic actually, this is kind of shocking. Fnatic only picked up 2 rounds after that. That's in spite of the fact that outside of those 2 rounds, they actually had 4 bomb plants. That's a lot of bomb plants that you don't win. They have 4 bomb plants that they couldn't actually make it win. We are going to go to a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with the second half. Stay with us. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's SK versus Fnatic here for a best-of-1 to decide who's either going to be exiting the tournament altogether or making their way to the Lanxess Arena for the quarter-finals that are starting tomorrow. It's so much on the line here. SK are up 5 rounds, but they were also playing on the CT side, and honestly, they did a remarkable job. They didn't win the pistol round, they still got 10 rounds. That's mission accomplished for as far as I'm concerned.
They've broken the trend, Anders. It feels like we've been seeing nothing but T-sided halves on Mirage, where it's the CTs who are struggling to actually get into double digits or really get that lockdown rolling. And you're right, without even winning the pistol, SK Gaming, they have a fantastic setup now for the second half. We're going into the T-side pistol now for SK, and we're looking to see if JW is going to find that headshot, but it's not going to happen. Instead, he has to back off, and this is a very explosive round. In fact, SK just not wasting any time at all, charging straight out onto the A site. Taco with that headshot to start on Flusha.
Holy moly, this is fast. Going to pick up a kill there on Crims. JW, he gets one, but lucky for him, there's no one else following. Otherwise, that could have gone very badly. It's a common push to have multiple Ts push into CT spawn. JW finds another snipe with the USP, but he's in a 1 versus 3, and now they're just taking little pot shots at him. He's got almost no chance. He's locked in a 3-way crossfire here. He's got no kit and no grenades. Gonna tap the bomb once, and now he's down to 13. SK Gaming with a really explosive start to the second half. Gonna win the round. Now they're very, very close.
Super sick work from Taco to open up jungle for his team as they came out of connector. Like, that's as good as it gets if you're SK. You're like, right, the one guy that could actually just start taking shots at us immediately, he's already gone. Now all we have to do is just worry about rushing down CT, seeing if we can put the pressure there and catch the rotators out. That couldn't have gone better for SK Gaming. 3 UMPs, a MAC-10, an AK. They're just looking to farm that money right now, SK Gaming. Although Taco's got to be a little bit careful. He's already tagged down, and I like it. Changes it up. Gives the AK over to Phelps.
It's a good call. Now, as soon as someone got hit with a scout in a round like this, I would say, listen, let's just all group up and do like a default A execute or anything like that. Like, I would try and stop people from wandering around the middle all too much, because we've seen rounds completely fall apart in the past where suddenly 4 out of 5 members are down to 30 like Taco, and it's very hard to do anything. So I would say, as soon as you realize you're up against that kind of thing, just give up, you know, looking for kills individually and go do some sort of team plan.
Well, teams have been very good so far this tournament with the anti-ecos in the second round after winning the pistol. So we'll have to see if SK Gaming are going to fall here to Fnatic, who of course have that legendary reputation with the pistols, applying the pressure. Crims moving up close to Pit. The 4 players ready and waiting for him, though. If he commits to this, it's going to get nasty for him.
It's one-shot range with the 5-7. We've seen Magic before, but actually Cold Zero gonna instantly take him down. I think that might even have been a mid-jump. And no chance at all. JW trying his best, but not gonna be given the chance either. Just casually jumping through the smoke, why not?
It's just so much money. Yeah, I mean, if you know there's a scout and he just shot, of course he's gonna just run right through and actually pick up that kill, because JW can't actually do anything to stop him. Olafmeister's left alone over in B Apartments, and I have to say, this is a terrific follow-up round here for SK Gaming. Bunch of kills with the UMPs, so they're getting all that bonus money. And so really, they're going to have all the options going into it. When Fnatic can finally afford to buy, they're going to be going up against a very well-equipped SK Gaming, unless in the next in the hard eco that's to follow, Fnatic can come up with something magical. Yeah,
but also, even in the 4th round, Fnatic's equipment will be so bad because they invested everything into this round. I mean, JW has, you know, $450 at the end of the round, a bit more now. So maybe you can pick up the AWP later, but still, this is not looking good right now. SK are actually, at the moment, and I thought the first half was sort of pretty reasonable, but now it just looks like SK are cruising right into the quarterfinals.
I want to see that timeout come through again. Next round, 19th round, Fnatic, please time out. Please just take some time to discuss, fine-tune whatever it is you're going to throw at SK Gaming. Can't really let it get much further than this. Taco punishes Olafmeister for going aggressive in Apartments and Palace at A.
It's just so hard to do that timeout when you're on the CT side, because if you do the timeout for like a big push, like double push into Apartments or something, they're going to be expecting it. You know, you just did the timeout. It's like the most obvious thing ever, isn't it? Fur tapping away with the MAC-10 and not really connecting. Eventually he'll get the kill, and now his teammates are right there. Tucker with a beautiful headshot, leaving Flusher alone.
The only guy I've seen who's able to actually use the MAC-10 that way, like tap across half the map, is RPK. RPK can turn that MAC-10 into a sniper rifle somehow. But everybody else, they kind of struggle a little bit with it.
I mean, it's got its purpose, right? That just isn't one of them.
You see, Mac, he's actually just playing, PUBG, except really what happened there, what we saw there is this, he just had the straight Mac 10. Wasn't anything on it. RPK, though, he's always got that arm brace, gets the compensator, right? He's just fully kitted out and decked with that Mac 10. Man, he does some serious hurt.
I see how it is. Trying to mix the games up.
Why not? Why not? I mean, all the CS goes, all the CS pros play PUBG anyway, so they all know. They all know what's up. They're nodding along. They're like, yeah.
Sure, Freiburg's been talking about it a lot. 13-5. This is pretty much the round, Fnatic. If they want to stay in this tournament, then now is the time to step it up. Otherwise, there's not going to be no time. SK have too much momentum. They've got too many rounds, too big of a lead already. Swedish Counter-Strike has been in a strange place for quite a while, and it still is to some extent. We'll see if they can make a difference here. JW's on catwalk. Flusher holding actually pretty far up into the connector, so maybe he could surprise someone here. They do have a nice crossfire, and so far no smokes are breaking that crossfire up. Flashbang will though, and look at Fallen, he wants to take the fight.
Oh, the timing was petrifying. I thought that JW was going to get it. Phelps finds the headshot on Flusher, however, and that opens up A site for business. They're going to go and back. Actually, that's actually pretty terrible. They have to go and get the bomb all the way back there. They have to run it through T-spawn, back through pit. Valuable time wasted here, but Fnatic left themselves enough, well, SK Gaming rather, left themselves enough of margin here for error.
Yeah, the real big problem is that they've got no smokes to get rid of JW and Crims towards CT spawn, so that can make things a bit awkward, especially if Olofmeister manages to get down to the catwalk, but he's not. He's currently on a really big flanking mission. Missed opportunity there, 25 seconds. They can plant for mid right now, and no one can stop them. Olof is just 5 seconds away. A little bit more time, and they will have it. Fallen goes down, and now, how did they get the bomb down here, SK? That's a really big problem. Olof is in a great position right now.
Yeah.
Not going to be easy for them to get that bomb plant, and now they realize, they're like, oh, damn, we've got to cover CT spawn as well. We've got no more smokes. It's being tried, but there's the deny. Phelps gets dropped, and there's no more time. JW, as long as he lives, they'll win the round. He's in the corner. The time is out. Fnatic win it. He can't save the AWP. That's just perfection in terms of timing. SK were probably thinking, listen, it's fine. They can have all the people they want in CT spawn. We're not even going to try and plant for that position. Just leave him alone. We don't have any smokes, but it doesn't matter. We're going to plant for connector, and then, oh damn, Olofmeister's there. And now we're in trouble.
Then they're having to play back and forth. Just head back into CT spawn, but they're more than happy for that Fnatic. Well, here is the timeout getting called by Fnatic. They still have 2 left as well, and so just use them. Use them. Make sure that you're going to know exactly what you need to do here to counter SK, because SK, I mean, I'm a bit surprised that Fallen was the one trying to make the play there on stairs. It felt like he was kind of hunting for the frag, and he really played into JW's hands.
Look at what Freiburg is saying. This is what we're talking about. How SK do their retakes later or slower than other events, or than other teams, and it's been working. It's true.
You're a little late, Freiburg.
We agree.
This is the second half.
It is second half, but we do agree. I mean, I'm guessing he did tweet that earlier, but that's how time works. We can't change it. I mean,
it is a simulation after all. Definitely, we could do some alterations here.
Maybe we can, but we don't have enough gravity to change it right now. Dennis has already gone down. Cold Sierra anticipating that aggressive push. And here's the tragedy for Fnatic. They wonder, oh my god! Well, there's the tragedy for Fnatic. JW jumping into the random tapping of fur. Oh my god.
Not like this.
Exactly like this, Semler. I mean, I don't think you can recover from that.
You're going to be tilting into the face of the universe here, man. You're somewhere off of Andromeda at this point if you're Fnatic, or if you're JW. Agony. And yet, it's not over yet. They still got fight in them, of course. Flusher has recovered that scout.
I mean, if disappointment had gravity, then JW would be a black hole right now. That's unbelievable, isn't it? I can't believe that just happened. Oh, man. I was going to say the tragedy was they had no rifles or anything because they actually lost everybody in the last round that they won, so you get nearly nothing on the CT side. Olof trying his best, but it's a very slim hope that you win a round like this. Flusher goes down. At least Olof has traded up for the AK-47, but in a 1 versus 4, goes down to Phelps as well. Triple for Phelps, and a 14-6 scoreline favoring SK Gaming. 2 rounds away from getting into the Lanxess Arena. Like madness, absolute madness.
Oh, that was perfect.
I didn't want to watch that again. It's a crime, an absolute crime.
Well, that's the thing, man. The producer doesn't care about your feelings, Anders.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Suffer. 14-6. Yep, just got confirmation. Just got confirmation. All right, 14-6, and it is going to be the force spy coming in from Fnatic. Just pistols and Kevlar, it's the best they can do. Olaf, because he got that shotgun kill in the last round, he can afford an MP9. So there's a little bit of something there to work with for him, and we'll see. Maybe he can catch out Fur here. Fur has pushed aggressively into B apartments, so this gives Olaf a chance, but Olaf has no idea, of course. He doesn't have X-ray. Man could just be sitting there waiting for him to push stairs.
Playing around like this, I mean, I appreciate Olaf giving this a chance, because what else is the plan? Default spread with pistols and armor? I mean, that doesn't sound very convincing, so Olaf is really doing the best that he can. He doesn't want to fire the gun because he knows it has a bit of a limit on it as well in terms of range. Now should be easy enough for sneaking in close. Olaf, easy enough kill. Even shoots the AK forward, so they can at least be picking that up right away now. 4-on-4 here.
I hope Fur has health insurance, because that's like heart attack inducing right there.
Oh man. Flusher goes down next. Crims with one good shot, but Cold Sea were able to get the refrag. Still a man lead here for SK Gaming, about to be on map point here. And what is happening? Olafmeister is making the long rotation in. Dennis is covering CT spawn, so they've got a crossfire between the last two CT players. Maybe they can get the perfect lineup. Dennis is actually going to jump the gun, and I'm not exactly sure why. He gets the bomb on one. Olafmeister with the second headshot, making it a triple for himself. That was the bomb being dropped out there as well. Now it's Olafmeister versus Fallen, who has been a champion throughout this game already. 8 seconds left as well. Olafmeister wants to see if he can creep on in. Fallen going to go for the bomb plan. He can't fake it, so he just has to hold it in. Now it's down as well. And Fallen looking for the headshot. He's not quite realizing that Olafmeister has actually just waited on the ramp, and he gets all the way into shadow. That's so hard to figure out if you're Olafmeister. He wants to get the little peek through, make some noise, and that's enough for Fallen to know. This is suddenly tilted in his favor. Olafmeister comes in, and Fallen will take him down. Instant headshot. A slight mistake in making that bit of noise, and it's 15-6.
Another clutch for Fallen. He had a couple in the first half that were key, instrumental for SK to maintain the pressure, and sure enough here, putting his team onto match point and a spot in the playoffs on the stage in front of 12,000 screaming fans. That's the dream if you're SK Gaming for both of these teams. They're fighting for that, but it's now just slipping through Fnatic's fingers. They don't have a whole lot to work with here, Anders, and it's going to get brutal.
Dennis trying his best. He did actually have his back turned in case that flashbang was going to come through, but it was more the fact that he didn't really have the weapon to take that fight in a reasonable way. Flusher with the C-set. 75 is a bit of a classic, and at least he gets a kill, but he's very low on health, and Olafmeister ready to sneak on through. First got the corner of the screen covered. You can actually see that, but still didn't get the kill. 3-on-3.
How? Sure enough, a 3-on-3. They're going to go ahead and set it up. Taco has found a kill. Crim's going aggressive in Palace. That gives it up here on the A site. Rotation is coming through, but both remaining players for Fnatic are so very low. Olafmeister has got the AK to work with at least, so there is that one-tap headshot potential here. Needs to channel his inner scream at this point for them to have a chance, because with 50 seconds left in this clock, I mean, SK Gaming have all the time in the world to just sit and wait. This might work out. Taco is going to be watching towards CT. He goes for the jump peek. And Fnatic right now, they don't want to show anything. They want SK Gaming to fall into the trap, because there is a crossfire, and that does mean that Fnatic have a chance.
It's an incredibly slim chance. Either one of these Fnatic players is one bullet away from death, and there's one of them, and there's the next. Taco to take the last kill of the game. 16-6 in favor of SK Gaming as they make it through to the playoffs, and Fnatic go out of the tournament here. That's very convincing. Proof, evidence that SK Gaming still is one of the most feared teams in this tournament, and pretty much in all tournaments they played for a very long time here. What a team.
It's tough when you watch Fnatic as well. You know, they need to. They don't look like they want to talk to anybody. All right, this is one of the most dominant teams in CS:GO history. They have just been struggling for so long to find that old form that they had, and so it's just been this uphill battle for them time and time again. But they all know what they're capable of.
What a game, and what a win it was as well. We will go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the analysts ready, so stay tuned. There's more to come.
The Pay Safeguard post-match breakdown.
The Brazilians will be given a chance to defend their title. Reigning champions of ESL One Cologne, and just in a nail-biter versus Fnatic, at least for the Fnatic fans, they've managed to get themselves a spot in that arena in front of that crowd. That's what it's all about. That's why these teams congregate and accept those invites for this event. It's that crowd, it's that arena, and it's that stage. Fnatic will not be gifted the opportunity, though. Joined by Sponge and YNK once more. And gentlemen, we kind of set the scene by saying that, you know, you don't know which Fnatic's going to come out. And actually, Chad, you seemed in your demeanor to at least have some hope for what Fnatic were capable of.
I was definitely positive in that first half. It was relatively positive. You just have to look at how good SK on the retakes, though. It was ridiculous how many times they were patient in those situations. Yeah. Even number, plays where they're coming in, and what happens is a lot of people on Twitter were tweeting out saying, oh, Fnatic are over peaking, but you start to get a bit anxious in situations when they take so long to retake. They're very patient, these SK guys, and they want you to make the first move. Now, if they just sat in the corner and didn't do anything, they're going to think that SK could be saving. They don't really have any information at that point, but SK were always taking advantage of those situations and winning them time and time again. And I think that was the turning point for that first half. Otherwise, Fnatic would have won plenty more rounds.
And on the topic of peaking, just want to make full use of the tweet we saw from Dupree there, Yenko. He states that SK Gaming are so good at shoulder peeking for information and baiting them in so that their teammate can get the frag. Does that make sense to you? Is that something you've noticed?
Yeah, I mean, they're very skilled individually of not giving away easy kills, basically, and always playing for info or playing either to make a play themselves or playing for their teammate to make a play. Like, that's what you see sometimes with Fur and Phelps, because they're both very aggressive and play well off of each other. I mean, Fallen had the most kills in this game, but it was Fur and Phelps who had the most ADR, over 100, both of them. So I agree. I think SK realized themselves that there's no need for them to get into early fights with Fnatic. That's where Fnatic is most comfortable at. So just let them get towards the bomb site, let them plant the bomb, and then with our team play, with our coordination, we can flush them out and execute those retakes. And despite the times Fnatic having maybe 4 players alive or even having a numbers advantage, SK seemed like they were actually on top of it all, and it seemed like it were fairly easy retakes.
Sometimes it does seem like it goes so fast, like it feels like it just escalates from what seems like nothing, right? It's a 4v4, the bomb goes down, you're like, all right, here we go, and then you blink and you miss it. It's a whatever it is, a 4v1, and there's only one Fnatic member left. It just they all seem to come in a flurry of frags sometimes with the boys from SK.
Yeah, all it takes is that one kill, and then they're able to kick into that retake. Right. But something else I want to note that they do really well is they had a couple of situations early on in the first half where Fnatic was pressuring them, and they were on low econ buys, where maybe they had the guns they needed, but they didn't have the utility. And the way that they play those situations is very impressive. They always play, I guess the best way to put it is in limbo. They're up close enough that if they take a fight and lose, they can still get out of there. But if an execute comes in, they're playing in front of that line of smokes and flashes, so they should be able to make a couple of frags and make their life very difficult. A good example of that is Fallen playing close A ramp with the AWP. Phelps did it as well with the rifle from time to time. And then we have to touch on Fur just being everywhere on the map, super aggressive, pushing apps one round, underpass another, pushing up mid. He doesn't have any issues taking fights, and it's so hard to account for where he's going to be.
Now, surely, and I just want to make this really clear, there is only a very few players in the very top of Counter-Strike that can get away with what Fur is doing. Because, I mean, you were saying it must be such a luxury in the green room. You're saying it just must be so lovely as Fur because you can just do what you want when you want, right, to an extent.
It only failed for him, I think, like once, maybe twice. Like, he pushed underpass and died to Olaf one round. But then time and time again, he's just grabbing so much information, and the rest of the players on SK are able to capitalize from that. If he goes out and gets a 1-for-1, they know how to play those situations so well with the information that he's given them. And every time they just turn it on its head.
And a player that's always fun to turn our attention to is, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Fallen. We're going to kind of take a look at some of his highlights. And one of the reasons for that is so interesting is that when interviewed other players, they were chosen the best in-game leader and the best AWPer. His name cropped up in both categories. It's very interesting to see just how quick this man can move with that scoped crosshair.
It is pretty crazy, like the things that he can make happen, you know, like playing close ramp, for example. In theory, you should always get traded there, or, you know, that's not a great position to be in. As an AWPer, you want to have long-range battles where you can take a shot and hide and re-peek, but he just seems to treated like a shotgun at times and can do pretty much whatever he wants with it.
Who is it that calls him a combat AWPer? Is that a
Yeah,
tag you've picked up?
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah, a combat AWPer. I mean, you certainly see a prime example of it on Mirage. Getting to see. I mean, does anyone else? Is that a move we see other teams implement, or is that an SK branded?
Oh, there's
CT
definitely
hold?
other people out there who do similar
that
things,
whack,
right?
yeah.
But yeah, Fallen is so versatile. He's one of the most versatile AWPers we have in the game. He can sit back, play passive at ticket booth, for example, and hit those shots day in, day out, and then he can get aggressive when he needs to. And he does it in clutch situations as well. And that should never work. When he's in that tight situation, the crossfire should be set up. He seems to just find kill after kill, and there's no explanation for it. I think it's just I don't know, has some kind of crazy aura.
Yeah, you spoke before, Yenko, about the success that Fnatic were finding in this tournament primarily came from Mirage, or at least in their previous tournaments as well. What was it that SK were doing that put a spanner in the works this time? Was there anything that particularly was hindering what they typically get away with?
I think they just didn't allow Fnatic to get free kills, basically, or any easy kills. Fnatic's stronger side always will be the CT side, and then when we switch to that second half, SK, like with the pistol round and with an early reset, Fnatic couldn't really get into the game at that point. And wins against Heroic and Space Soldiers are all nice and well, but SK is a whole different beast on the map. You can see how comfortable they are as a team and individually. You can almost expect as a certainty at this point that Fur is going to have an amazing game on Mirage and probably Phelps.
Absolutely, yeah, and of course with that victory and with Fur and Phelps playing as they did, Fallen 2 and the whole bunch of SK will be in the Lanxess Arena. Just 2 spots remain for those playoffs. The schedule will remind you of just who is going to be taking to the stage coming tomorrow, and we do of course have 2 games, 2 spots. You'll see now it's going to be none other than Cloud9 versus Mouse Sports that we'll be jumping into next. Mouse Sports, despite starting strong here at ESL One Cologne, have hit a couple of foot faults on the way to the Lanxess Arena. The last chance stands against North Americans Cloud9. We'll be talking all about it after our break.